Hey, this is Job Coach Kathy. Our strategic plan today covers the interview, part one. Let's go to work. One thing I want you to remember is interviewing is a two-way street. Remember, you're interviewing the company too. The interview panel usually consists of 3 to 4 panel members. However, I have seen panel members upwards of 12 people being part of that panel. How many questions might the panel ask? Well, it kind of depends. I've seen interviews with 4 to 5 questions, upwards of 7, but sometimes more. And sometimes an interview might consist of an additional test that might be specifically technical or related to that specific job. The applicant pool. How many people might be in that applicant pool varies depending on what the position is. So you might be going up against 3 to 4 people or more. Some companies will give you 15 minutes to review the interview questions. Other companies will have you come in and the panel will move directly to asking you the interview questions. So no matter what, if you're prepared, it doesn't matter if they've given you the 15 minutes or you have basically what I call rapid fire interviewing, because you are going to be prepared and focused to answer the questions. Remember when I mentioned that it's really important to have the job profile, or sometimes called job description, for the position that you're applying for? Because if you read through that job profile, you'll begin, because you're the detective, you'll begin to see what types of questions that they might ask you. Typically, the job profile contains all the requirements of the position, but remember, you might have to ask the employer for a copy of that job profile. So as I mentioned in the mock interview module, get proactive today. Don't wait until you get the interview to start creating these scenarios, because they do take time. Here's a great list to get started with, but I'm sure you'll think of more. So how many scenarios should you create? Well, definitely more than 4 or 5. I would still put your goal towards 12. Just a quick reminder, and we've talked about this in other modules, that you want to model your answers using the STAR method. And the STAR method is situation, task, action, and result. If you use that model to frame up your answers, you won't ramble. You'll get to the point and get the details. Again, just a quick reminder, if it's a behavioral-based interview question, they will line it up to say something like, tell me a time when, how have you, tell us an experience with, describe a time when. So let's practice. What's the biggest change management challenge you faced? How did you handle it? In this particular question, I would lean heavy on the communication aspects of a change that you went through, or your organization or team went through, and how did you navigate through that change? What gets missed on an interview answer? Many times what gets missed is sharing with the panel how you communicated with the supervisor through your scenario and chain of command. Also, the communication that you did while working with your team members in your scenario. Sometimes what happens at the end of the interview answer, individuals will forget to indicate that maybe they went to their computer and needed to follow up and enter in information into a computer, for instance, like reports. Be sure when you start that interview question and you end it that it's clear, because then what it's showing the panel is your attention to detail and that you do follow up. If there's any safety aspects of the job, make sure you include those. Collaboration with others. Maybe in the past positions that you've had, you collaborate with other team members within an organization or other groups, departments, or even bigger than that, areas throughout the state where you live. make sure you include that collaboration piece. And lastly, and this one's a kind of a hard one, we. It's really easy to use the word we when answering those interview questions if you are part of a crew or a team. But I want to caution you on this. If you say, here's what we did, the panel doesn't know what you did. It's okay to set up your interview answer with something like, there was a team of 6 of us, and here's what we worked on, but here's what my role was. Be really clear to the panel what we did and then what you did. Details, details, details. But how much is too much? What happens if I get stuck in the weeds? You will not get stuck in the weeds if you follow that STAR model: situation, task, action, and review. I want you to provide enough details so you are taking Job Coach Kathy there with you. You are explaining the details to me. Also, you are taking that panel there with you. You're providing those details so that they can clearly see in their mind what you're sharing. Start your response library today. Write in a notebook or type in a computer your sample responses. Don't wait until you get the interview to start this process. Okay, what happens if there's a question that I get asked and I have no scenario or response? Well, that sometimes happens. And so let's say that there's 5 questions on the interview, and number 3 is that question. You've done all this preparation work, and yet you have no response for question number 3. Here's what I want you to do. Take a deep breath, solve it, resolve it, fix it, and figure it out. How many times in our daily jobs do we get asked to do something for our work that we've never done before? Well, we don't just say, I'd like to pass on that. We simply figure it out. So it might mean going to Google, a manual, talking to another supervisor, talking to a colleague that you trust. It's being resourceful. So how I want you to frame up your answer is this. I've never run into that before at my past places of employment. Breathe. However, if I did, here's how I would solve it, resolve it, fix it, and figure it out. And what you're providing the panel is you're showing them your resourcefulness, that the business can hand you anything and you're not just going to cave. You're going to be able to, say it with me, solve it, resolve it, fix it, and figure it out. All right, let's move to the interview, part 2.